Russia goes insane for Putin's birthday. Tai Putino gimtadienis pasirodo buvo. Pala, kada? Kada Putino gimtadienis? Oktober 7. Okay. Tai...
Hey there guys, it is your boy Roman, your favorite neighborhood Russian, and I'm really sorry I have to start out this video on a bit of a sad note. A bit depressing guys, because we have just got the heartbreaking news that Vladimir Putin has been found alive and well at the age of 72 on October 7th of 2024. Yes guys, these are
Turiu omeny Putino šeštas klonas, doppelbangeris.
devastating news that I think we all need time to process. This is so sad, smash like if you guys agree. But yes guys, being completely serious though, yesterday as I'm recording this video on the 7th of October, it was the birthday of Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia. He just turned 72 years old. And you guys might say, Roman, why are you making a video about this, you know? Because normally, who cares about a president's birthday, right? A president is just a person who serves the country in a public office, right? It's usually nothing special. Well guys, the thing is that I think we're all forgetting that we're talking...
Palauk, kaip pasaulyje švenčia prezidento gimtadienius? Aš neprisimenu Nausėdos gimtadienio ne kartą. Ar ten apskritai nei vieno prezidento? Nu, tu pamini kažkaip jo, bet tipo, ar švenčia kažkaip vien ypatingai? Labas, Karina. Ten Bideno koks gimtadienis, kai buvo. Jo, toks random paminėjimas būna, tipo, ar spaudoje, ar kažką, bet, nu, tipo, nieko. Vietinis, nu, tipo, jo, ten jie, aišku, švenčia, bet, tipo, kaip šalis, žinai, ne, tiesiog per naujienas parašo ir tiek. Jo, aš net nežinau, neįsivaizduoju, ne, tikrai ne. Ne taip, kaip čia paradai, ar kas čia
vyksta. Modern Russia is a country that has been slowly going insane over the last 20 years or so.
Biden gimtadienis
it's been going more and more rapidly insane in the last 2 years after the start of the Ukraine war, obviously. There's a lot more ridiculous propaganda music. A lot more censorship, a lot less free speech and all of that. However, today I want to talk about something new that Russia seems to be getting into a lot, and that is cult of personality, because there's been a bunch of very strange celebrations of Vladimir Putin's birthday in Russia, including huge marches and like public gatherings, where a bunch of people will be basically standing in a public square, gathered in the form of Russian letters, essentially wishing a happy birthday to Vladimir Putin. And there's also been a bunch of very weird footage coming out of Russian schools, where students were forced to record videos wishing a happy birthday to Vladimir Putin.
Ar mūsų mokyklose beje yra Lietuvos vėliavų, kad jos visą laiką kabėtų? Aš dabar galvoju, aš nepamenu, kai aš augau ir ėjau mokyklą, kad visur būtų vėliavos. Ant kampo galbūt būdavo, bet netkreipdavau dėmesio, bet viduj tada dar pastato, kad ten vat pakabinta vėliava, ar ten paveikslas su vėliava, kaip čia, blet. Man atrodo, pas mus nebuvo tokių tikrai. Nes ant pastato gal ir buvo, žinai, praeidom ten ir nematydom, bet... Ir taip, nėra, per šventės būdavo, nes tai būdavo, nu, tipo, per tas, kai turi kabėt. Jo, šiaip tai ne, liktai šiaip tai jis nebūna random diena.
And children have been also used as props to spell Putin's name in several regions of Russia, so, essentially, for me, as a Russian who grew up in Russia in a bit of a different time and who left Russia quite recently, this is absolutely insane, and it looks like something that is very similar to like North Korea at this point, and I think it is just absolutely ridiculous. So, without further ado, let's check out some examples of how Vladimir Putin's birthday was celebrated in Russia. So, here we have an article from St. Petersburg, a city in Russia.
By the way, kadangi jau Putino gimtadienis, tai kaip karas sekas? Nu, I guess jiems neblogai karas sekas. Vis dar ima teritorijas, po truputį stumėsi priekį, ten Kurską po truputį ukrainiečius atgal stumė. Tada kitom naujienom, Šiaurės Koreja, sakoma, apie 10 000 karių, ne instruktorių, ne kažkokių mokytojų, karių, siunčia ir jau kariauja fronte. Ir, I shit you not, medikai, kurie gydo sužeistus tos karius, randa, blet, iki ten 3 cm ar 2 cm kirminus jų žarnyne, tuos parazitinius. Nes pasirodo, nu, ir ten kas penktas, tipo sako, kad Korėjoje, Šiaurės Korėjoje apskritai tą turi. Nes pasirodo, jie naudoja žmonių išmatų kažkokį, kaip tą patrešti žemėm kažkokį, kaip pigią alternatyvą ten whatever. Kas ko pasiekoji, tie kirminai ten, nu, savo kiaušinius deda ir paskui į žmonės pereina. Žodžiu. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? Okay, žodžiu, Jesus, kokia šalis nuostabi Rusija, tikrai taip. Bet ne, viskas gerai, mes svarstom, ar instruktorius siųsti. Žinai, jo, ir mes instruktorių čia pasirodo yra tas pats, kas karą. Jo, čia grinai atrodo visas vakarų pasaulis vienintelį kažkokias savo taisyklės susidėjo, kad ir kaip kariauti, ir atrodo kaip tas iš Konstantino filmo ištrauka, kur John Constantine, John Wickas, vos nepasakiau, kur šitam, kur su Midnightu kalba, kad tipo, you're the only one playing by the rules, tipo, čia, what the fuck? Jo, aš nesuprantu. Komentarį išjungti, kodėl? Tu literally parašy... What? Kur išjungti komentarai? What? Pala. Gal jis turi omeny po laivų komentarai, kas niekada neveikia, nes yra komentarai, kas... Jo, jis turi omeny šitą. Kai streamini tiesiogiai, komentarų nėra, nes yra chatas, kuriame tu dabar rašai. Nėra net kaip įjungti, man atrodo, laivo metu komentarus, nes chatas tam veikia. Ir gal jis apie tą kalbėjo, aš nežinau. Gerai, žiūrim.
Russia lived in at a certain point, and here essentially it says that on the Palace Square, which is the main square of St. Petersburg, a flash mob has been organized for Vladimir Putin's birthday. Seems very epic, let's check it out.
Flash mobas, taip. Натуралия срадится.
Сегодня молодежь Петербурга собралась на Дворцовой площади, чтобы поздравить нашего президента с днем рождения.
I'm sorry, is this youth you're talking about in a room with us right now? I mean, like, some of these look like grown-ass men, to be quite honest.
Čia jaunimas kaip nueinam į Rusiją, kaip tik naujausias video. Čia rodo tokį patį jaunimą, kaip šitas jaunuolis.
Nejauku žiūrėti, kažkaip vis tiek man nejauku žiūrėti į suaugusius žmonės, kurie bando kalbėti jiems svetima jaunimo kalba. Am I right, gang, yeah? Slay, lol, sas.
Okay.
Благодаря силе и воле Владимира Владимировича Путина Россия – это страна, в которой мы счастливы жить, учиться, развиваться и расти.
Yep, skamba kaip...
Of course. Deputy of the chairman of the Committee of Politics regarding the youth of St. Petersburg. Veteran of the special military operation. I love it. I love that these are the people who are most qualified, of course, to tell the youth what they should do in life.
Силой духа нашего народа и единством поколений мы продолжаем защищать наше Отечество и отстаивать его интересы. В современной России мы прививаем подрастающему поколению ценности, которыми сами дорожим.
Мы живем в стране, в которой созданы все условия для развития нашей молодежи. Тысячи молодых людей по всей стране устанавливают рекорды, достигают победы и показывают достойные результаты в науке, культуре и...
And showing decent results. Там, короче, setting records, achieving victories.
Достигают победы и показывают
И роdo visai nieko rezultatus. Окей.
достойные результаты в науке, культуре и образовании. Спасибо за это нашему президенту.
Hey, президентui.
Like, look.
Eik tu savo, actually insane. Esmė yra ta, kad, nu, aš suprantu, nu, kad jie daro tos video, bet čia ant kiek tu turi būti literally naivus, kad tau rodo tokį video ir tu nekrinžini. Aš įsivaizduoju, kad Lietuvoje padaryti tokį video. Tokį, nu, labai overly top propagandinį tokį, kur kas antras saknys makes no sense, net nesvarbu, kad faktus tikrinti. Bet jau, what the fuck? Nu, čia visi žvengtų ir viskas. Agės gal ir ten žvengia ir tiesiog čia pasauliui tas video, bet ne, ten daug kas tikrai galvoja, kai labai nuostabioje šalyje gyvena, kur čia yra tiesiog reklama kokioje nuostabioje šalyje gyvena ir net nemato problemų su tom ir jo.
Look, everything that he said right there is like, is debatable, right? Because yes, I do think that Russia has a lot of bright and like smart youth actually. But I definitely do
Ar čia AI fotka?
I do think that Russia has a lot of
Still clean. Arba čia heavily photoshopinta? Kiek pirštų vis turi? Ne, normaliai gal. Kažkokia atrodo per daug nubalinta, per daug švari, kaip jai būna, žinai, tobuli veidai, viską. Čia tiesiog su photoshopinta gal kokia fotka ar dar ką. Nes, atrodo per daug perdirbta vos ne iki jo.
bright and like smart youth actually. But I definitely do disagree with the fact that Russia provides everything to the youth right now
Čia photoshopinta fotka kaip gal.
to, you know, succeed and to develop in life. You motherfuckers just banned Discord, okay? As I'm recording this video, Discord just got banned in Russia. What do you
Beje, Discordas užbantas, YouTube'as užbantas, atskirtas nuo pasaulio, Wikipedia užbaninta, jie turi savo alternatyvą Wikipedijai, nes tai žinoma, nežinau, ten tas, rublis visiškai žlugimo ir ten, aš nežinau jau, kiekvieną kartą, kai apie rublį paskaitau, ten blogiau ir blogiau. Ten vienas kažkoks ekonomistas, ką žinau, paskaičiavo, kad infliacija tikrai ne 9%, 2,8% ir kad realiai šitas, kai jie ten sako, kad išleis biudžeto tam tikrą dalį karui sekančiais metais, realiai išleis mažiau, nes vos net ketvirtadalių, ten trečdalių mažiau, nes infliacija, absurdiškai didelė, bet jie reportina kitą, ten, nežinau, vėlgi, Šiaurės Korėja kariauja jų gretose ir aš nežinau, čia geriausi draugeliai. Liquid assets, ten tipo, kaip suprantu, dar tą skaičiau, kad pasirodo, rusai drastiškai prarado didžiąją dalį savo liquid assets, tai yra, kaip čia, turto, kurį gali paversti pinigus greitai, čia ten, keletas tų punktų buvo, aš dabar, tokių visokių, problema ta, kad Rusija žiauriai didelė. Ir tipo, tie rodikliai gali kristi ir jie vis tiek randa būdų, kaip įsilaikyti. Karių daug praras, jie ras būdų. Tai Afrikoje rekrūtina, tai tada Indijoje apskamina rekrūtina, tai tada Šiaurės Korėjai susitarė ir juos rekrūtina. Jie randa iš kur tipo, kaip čia, iš kur išsilaikyti, galvą virš vandens iškišus. Ta raketos, tos amunicija irgi. Nėra, ai, tada Iranas pradeda tiekti, tada ten kiniečiai pradeda tiekti, tada Šiaurės Korėja pradeda tiekti, žodžiu, belenkas tiesiog. Galima nešnekėk apie Rusų ekonomiką, nihatį nespranti, ko tu man aiškini, visų pirma, ne aš čia kažką šneko, cituoju, ką skaičiau, ką ekonomistai sako, tai what the fuck. O jo, Rusijos ekonomika labai stipri, jo, kai 2,8% infliacija paskaičiuoja, taip, ahujenai stipri seniukjom, taip, kai likvidasi, tai visi į dugną eina, jo ahujenai stiprų, jo beist. Visos technologijos srityse atsilieka dabar jau ir pradeda kentėti, belenkaip stipri ekonomika, žiauriai. Bet jo, man nereikia šnekėti ir cituoti ekonomistų, nes YouTube'ės chateris daug geriau išmano, pasakydamas nešnekėk, nes nenusimanai. Ir Rusų ekonomika žiauriai stipri. Cool. Gerai, žiūrim toliau.
What are you talking about? You're not letting us live, bruh. But look, even if all of that was the case, how is Vladimir Putin responsible for, Russian youth achieving goals or whatever? I know that he's responsible for a lot of Russian youth never becoming adults and only staying as youth because they just don't live long enough because they end up getting mobilized or whatever. I know he has some relation to that, but otherwise, I don't know, guys. The decading is crazy, in my opinion.
Молодежь Санкт-Петербурга, поздравляем вас с днем рождения! Желаем вам здоровья и новых свершений!
Jo nereikėtų net nesupranti, kaip ji gali būti gyva 3 metus kariaudama. Čia kas nesupranta, kaip ji gali būti gyva 3 metus kariaudama. Jin ir yra gyva. O tu gaudais? O gal tau nereiktų iš vis rašyti, kai tu nesigaudai erdvėj? Žiūrėk, kaip galvoji seniuk gedai? O gal tau tiesiog nereiktų rašyti, kai tu visiškai nesigaudai aplinkoj? Nes prisiminkim, pirmą tavo žinutę, komentarą išjungti. Kodėl? Visiškai nesigaudai aplinkoj. Tada prisipisai prie Editos, ar tau šypsenų trūksta. Tada prisipisai prie Lino, nemeluokim, bent dalis žino nuo 202, čia nežinau apie ką kalbėjo. Tada dabar apie ekonomiką prisipisai. Kas tau neaišku, jeigu tu aplinkoje nesigaudai ir nesupranti, kas vyksta? Ne, tu neklausai, tu non-stop chatini šūdus. Jo, jeigu nesigaudai aplinkoje, visų pirma, man nepisk proto, kad aš pasitoju kažkokią ekonomiką. Tada rašai, kaip gali būti gyva 3 metus, klausdama, nes nesupranti. Kas nesupranta? Niekas to nesakė. Niekas to nesakė. Aš pacitavau specifinius teiginius. Ar bent vienas jų buvo neteisingas? Jo, jie buvo teisinga. Bet tu vis tiek nusprendai man aiškinti, kad aš neturėčiau šnekėti, nes Rusijos ekonomika stipri ir tada parašyti dalyką, ko nieks nerašė. Dar iš manęs velnė. Nu, tai nustok šūdus rašinėti ir viskas, jeigu neturi ką pasakyti. O čia, jo, aš labai mažai tolerancijos turiu psichams, kurie rašinėja nesigaudami erdvėj. Ir tada toliau nenustoja rašinėti, nes viskas kol kas, ką parašėjai, buvo šūdas kažkoks. Arba nesigaudai, arba nesupranti net kas pasakyta buvo, bet nenustoji rašyti. Tai gal liaukis.
This is insane. And like, once again, this is like a video where commentary is kind of needless, right? You know, I could say, right, this looks like a certain other country in the 1930s in Europe, right? It does. It definitely does, but that's like kind of obvious to everybody at this point, right? Like this is beyond parody, beyond commentary, beyond like jokes at this point. This is just insane. This is not the Russia I grew up in, dog. And by far the funniest thing to me is that they think that this looks good. This right here is created by Молодая Гвардия, which is essentially the young guard or the youth guard of United Russia. United Russia is the ruling party of Russia, you know, that has monopoly on the government kind of. And they do have like a youth, a Putin's youth kind of movement for, you know, young people to join or whatever. So once again, clearly, you know, no crazy parallels there or anything. Again, I find it so incredible that this is the content they make and they think that this looks good. And yet again, like nothing clicks in their head when they're making this. Here, for example, I'm on the website of United Russia, actually, and here they're posting about how they essentially had public events, and this is Moscow right here. So in Moscow and in St. Petersburg, basically commemorated and saying thanks to the presidents. Yes, guys, this is totally normal, an absolutely normal country that is definitely having a normal one, you know? Nothing to see here, guys. No historical
Ai, čia tie, kur iš viršaus tekstas.
parallels can be made. Russia is just great. It's great. Keep going, guys. It's hilarious.
Kodėl šitas fotkas juodai
Can be
baltas?
made. Russia is just great. It's great.
Čia nesenas fotkas, čia tipo dabartinės, kažkodėl juodai baltas. What?
Keep going, guys. It's hilarious. Anyway, supposedly events like this where a bunch of essentially students or school pupils were gathered to, you know, form a bunch of letters saying happy birthday, Mr. Presidents. Events like this were thrown in a bunch of different cities in Russia. Here, for example, I just really like this picture. You know, it's again, normal country, guys. This is normal. This is good. Flash mob for Vladimir Putin's birthday has happened in the city of Vologda. Here, for example, the same exact Putin's youth movements have organized a flash mob for the birthday in Chelyabinsk, my hometown, the city that I grew up in and spent my whole life in. Yeah, you see, you know, a bunch of...
Nu, kad rusai daug pinigų skiria vaikų, kaip čia, propagandai ir indoktrinacijai, tai čia jo, ne tik savo, bet ir, va, ir ukrainiečių vaikus grobė ir pas save parsiveža iš tų Luhansko Donbaso teritorijų.
Essentially 14-year-olds with Z and United Russia outfits on, gathered around, and here they have essentially a picture of Vladimir Putin looking cool in sunglasses saying, "Happy birthday, the first one." I guess referring to like первое лицо, like the first person in the country.
Aš nežinau, kiek aš norėčiau labai, kai jis prisijungtų, bet tipo, kiek vertės iš žmogaus nuomonės, kuris nežino, kodėl laivo komentarų nėra, kur nesusigaudo visiškai Discord'e, žinai, visam pasaulyje 100 milijonų userių, bet, nu, jam per sudėtinga, jam tiesiog, nu, jo, aš nežinau, kiek vertinga nuomonė.
Or whatever, that's what it's all about. Again, completely normal.
Sudėtinga net patikėti, bet yra.
Normal country, normal people. Definitely, guys, definitely. This is not insane. Oh my god, guys, I cannot believe that we're reaching, like, such levels of surrealism and insanity. But, guys, guess what? It gets a lot worse.
От всей души хотим вас поздравить с днем рождения и пожелать вам успехов в личной жизни.
I can't believe this. Yes, you got it correct. What is currently happening in Russian schools is that, already talked about education in Russian schools already here on this channel. How, for example, right now, currently we have in Russia a new subject in school called "Разговоры о важном," conversations about the important, and the whole idea of those lessons is basically to teach kids about like the importance of the special military operation and Z, and also to teach about traditional Russian values or whatever, whatever those values are. They make kids sing like propaganda songs like "Я русский" in school and stuff like that. This is real too.
Are you young? Yep. Rusai daro, va ką nori visokie, nežinau, ar Gaižauskas, ar kokie, bet kai aš Lietuvos Seime girdžiu iš seimūnų pasakymus, kad reikia ne tankus pirkti, auginti piliečių norą priešintis ir aš literaliai taip įsivaizduoju. Ką jie turi minėti, reikia propagandą pumpuoti, kad būtų ultrapatriotai su viena smegenų ląstelė ten ar dar kažką tipo.
It's basically over at this point, right? For like Russian education. It's like, I don't even know what you have
Ar neapsimokėti tau registrinti numerį, kad visi šitie, o kaip satupinti visą tą reiktų?
To do as a parent at this point, if your child is in Russian school, to like make sure that they don't get poisoned by propaganda at some point. But right now, schools in Russia are basically forcing and asking young children to record a birthday wish to Vladimir Putin.
От всей души хотим вас поздравить с днем рождения и пожелать вам успехов в личной жизни, крепкого здоровья, мирного неба над головой.
I fucking can't, dude. I cannot with this bullshit. What's happening here is they're basically giving like the classic, sort of like Russian uninterested, basic cliche birthday wishes, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes, like...
Jo, tai aš klausiu, kaip tą setupin, blėt. Ar jūs galvojat, kad magija egzistuoja tokie patarimai? Tau reikia registruoti numerį, kad galėtų skambinti. Klausiu, kaip setupin. Tada tu parašai, turėtum numerį, galėtų skambinti. Jo, ir ką, pridėję šitaip laikyčiau, blėt? Taip įsivaizduojat? Kaip setupint, actually. Jesus.
Like your mom was on the phone with some aunt or whatever, some remote family or whatever that you don't even know, and they're like,
your mom is like, hey,
it's their birthday today, go and congratulate them on a happy birthday. And because you don't really know the person that much, you can't really say anything special, like personal, so you just say, да, с днем рождения, счастья, здоровья, там, чтоб все было хорошо по жизни, там, начинания все, вот. Ну, главное, чтобы здоровье было, это как бы здоровье, все вот это вот. Счастье, здоровье, ну, самое, чтобы все важное, в общем. Все, что было, там, давай. And they're basically doing the same here for Vladimir Putin. But also the funniest thing about this whole shit is that like they also wished Vladimir...
Net nesunku naudoti, literally neįmanoma naudoti ten buvo su to UI, bet ten... Neplauk. Jo, jie neturėjo, vienas neturėjo, tie esimai jų apšė ten negaliojantis, kaip ten neveikiantis, kažkas ten blogai buvo.
Putin to have a peaceful sky above. Yes, they said мирного неба над головой. And I just find it kind of hilarious because in my opinion...
Čia nebent kažkokį telefoną actually device reiktų pirkti, iš kurio išeitų laidas, kurie aš galėčiau į kompą įdėti ir audio pertransliuoti. Aš neįsivaizduoju, kaip tokį reiktų daryti.
Is kind of like a symptom of like the psychosis of Russian society, because ever since the war started, all Russians have started saying "Мирного неба над головой," may you have a peaceful sky above you to each other, because they're like, I guess subconsciously scared of the fact that the war might affect them in some way or whatever, right? And the way I see it, it's almost like to have a peaceful sky above, it's kind of joined the ranks of all the other...
Grįžau, bandau admin. Ką čia reiškia grįžau, bandau admin? Admin ką daryti? Ai, jūs čia mėginat paspaus nuorodą ir prisijungti.
Non-personal, cliche things to wish somebody, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, like, счастье, здоровье, ну, это то, на что мы не можем повлиять. Our happiness, our health and luck, these are things we can't really affect, I guess. And, to have a peaceful sky up above, to have no war, лишь бы не было войны, right? This is also something that is just completely out of our control, so let's just wish that to each other and just hope that it all kind of sorts it out on its own. Само все рассосется. And I'm personally weirded out about it, honestly, because I've left Russia, right? And I've had some old friends write me on my birthday and wish me a peaceful sky above my head. I'm like, don't wish that shit on me, please. It's not even something I want to consider, okay? I don't want to live in that paradigm of having to consider that shit. Of having to wish upon a star for a peaceful sky. This might be edgy, but I don't give a fuck. It's how I feel. So yeah, I've been weirded out by people messaging me that, for example, and I find it so unbelievably hilarious that these, like, that these kids are wishing Vladimir Putin to have a peaceful sky above him. The reason why that is a wish, the reason why all of this is going on in the first place is Vladimir Putin. You know what I'm saying? It's just absolutely insanely hilarious. I don't know if you guys even get this, but I had to say it.
Успехов в личной жизни, крепкого здоровья, мирного неба над головой, поменьше плохих новостей и побольше хороших.
Так, дети поздравляют Путина с днем рождения. В соцсетях, школ и детсадов по всей стране в день рождения Путина появились видеообращения. Дети на видео поют песни.
Legit kaip Šiaurės Korėjai, asmenybės kultas. Jo, literally tą patį kalbu. Legit Šiaurės Korėjai, tas pašūdas. Tik ten jie daug labiau, kaip čia, į priekį paėję.
Желают Путину мирного неба над головой, денег побольше и работы поменьше.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Флешмобе уже
I know these are children, they don't know any better, but like, I'm not making fun of the children. The society is so sick and twisted that this is what like kids...
Tipo, žinau, kas dar šudiniausia, tipo, šitie žmonės pis protą, kad, nu, kaip ir pas mus čia kai kurie atsiranda, įgės, kur ne mokyklai mokyti, kad gėjai egzistuoja, nelegalu turi būti, negalima, indoktrinuoja vaikus. Bet tie žmonės ves į mokyklą, kur va šitaip vaikams reikės Putino plakatą, žinai, laikyti, dainuot giesmės. Čia tai ne indoktrinacija, čia viskas gerai. Bet nedaug dievė, žinai, pamokins, kad gėjai egzistuoja. Tipo,
Kids have to take part in. It's ridiculous. Like, it's so painful that you cannot fucking help but laugh.
Минимум 30 школ.
I mean, guys, look, I can certainly say that when I was in school, once again, we did have some propaganda to some certain degree, right, in like history class, I suppose. I was in school from 2004 till 2015. And throughout this entire time, I don't really think there's been a single time where we've been like forced to even partake in anything that would like be in any way related to the current like government's policy regarding something. You know how like kids in Russian school these days, a lot of the time they have like lessons where they're asked like to draw or paint something in art class that supports like Z and the Russian army and everything. Like what the government is doing and the propaganda is very embedded in what the kids have to partake in also. That was not the case when I was a kid. When I was in school, I remember the only thing we had like this was, there was this one like city official who actually graduated from our school, and he would like donate to the school or whatever and come in, and he was from United Russia, of course, the ruling party. And yeah, I think like basically the school principal was saying how great United Russia and this guy is, and in turn Vladimir Putin too. So yes, that happened, but they didn't fucking make us wish happy birthday to Vladimir Putin or to Dmitry Medvedev or whatever, right? This is just fucking insane. I cannot even believe, I can't even imagine that the teachers in my school would come up to me when I was like fucking 10 years old and tell me that I just have to stand in front of a camera now and wish a happy birthday to this man that I don't give a fuck about. Like, what are you talking about? This is insane. But once again, guys, just like all the other stuff in this video, once again, this gets so much worse. I'd like to show you guys this right here. So essentially, this right here is a story from a small town called Gubkinsky in the Yamalo-Nenetsk autonomous region in Russia. She's also a secretary of the local branch of United Russia, of course. And what she did on the 7th of October for Vladimir Putin's birthday is that she had the kids in her class literally get down on their knees and get in line and form letters of Vladimir Putin's name. Here we have the letter P in Russian, P. Here we have U. Here we have the genius herself that, you know, signed off on this and whose idea it was. Clearly the peak of intellect right here. Then we have the letter T. Again, children with Russian flags on their knees. Not an image I'd like to see, but once again, it's important to see because this is what is actually happening.
Kaip galėtų už ką balsuos šitie vaikai? Tipo, balsuos vieną dieną.
And here we have the letter E, once again the Russian letter E, and last but not least the letter N. So altogether, all the children and this lady make up for the word Putin. Last name of Vladimir Putin, and is once again, is commentary even needed at this point? I think the fact that they have these kids gathered in front of the letters of the president's name, which is like an insane level of like cult of personality or whatever there. This is kind of North Korea level at this point, right? Like saying that, it would barely be an exaggeration, right? Because that's kind of what I do a lot on this channel, right? I'm saying, oh, this is ridiculous. It's like Russia's North Korea at this point. I mean, at this point, guys, once again, what, like, is it not though? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is this?
Paralelių labai daug Šiaurės Korėja. Tik, nu, ne taip toli pažengę.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is this? Also, like, it ties in with a... There's this really funny phrase that a lot of Putin fans like to spread when they defend Vladimir Putin. When, for example, when you have debates with, like, your family members or whatever, they would say that Vladimir Putin поднял страну с колен. Which means Vladimir Putin has brought the country up from its knees. Essentially, the whole point of this saying is that, you know, Russia was basically on its knees in the 90s. It was a very weak country, very weak economically, right? But also very weak, like, ideologically, right? Because right now we have this strong, like, Russian, you know, nationalism and everything. Z, V, Goida. But before we didn't have anything. It was all just capitalism and vapid, you know, Western degeneracy and so on. And America was, you know, heavily involved with our governments. You know, we were occupied by America and their ideology and their, you know, degeneracy. Once again, we were on our knees. You know, the country was in a terrible position. We were on our knees begging for, like, handouts from the US, you know, whatever. But Vladimir Putin has brought the country up from its knees, you know.
Po truputį. Šiaurės Korėja per naktį nepastatė irgi jo. Ir po truputį eini link to, po truputį eini link to. Ir man juokingiausia, kai žmonės ten tada sako, ne, tai su Trumpu, taigi tai nieko blogai čia nėra. Pohukis, taigi ten diktatorius norėtų būti, ne, tai jis nieko nepadarys, institucijos atsilaikys. Jis jau padarė žalos dahuja tom institucijom. Ir jeigu antrą kadenciją padarys dar dahuja, sekantis po Trump, gal ne Trumpas sekantis, bet esmė kryptį labai aiškiai nustato. Ir žmonės visą laiką turi rinktis, į kurią pusę eis, į kurią kryptį judės biškai. Ir jo, gal vienas žmogus atėjęs gal visko ir nesugriaus, bet... Niekad nežinai, kada bus tas kritinis taškas ir tas, nu kaip čia, tas lūžio taškas, kur jau negrįžtamai paims ir tada sėkmės tau.
To actually be like a powerful, massive superpower, right? And again, very debatable, very, very debatable. I personally do not subscribe to this point of view. There's this really funny quote from Valeria Novodvorskaya, a Russian opposition figure who actually passed away. I don't agree with everything that she had to say. She's like extremely neoliberal and like Russophobic kind of. But she had this meme where she said, "The West is trying to bring Russia down to its knees, but it's still laying flat on its back." That's a good quote. That's bars. I'm sorry. But yeah, once again, taking that popular argument of bringing the country up from its knees, if we take that into account, once again, what is this? Like, this is like... You guys get the metaphor that I'm going for, right? You putting children on their knees, essentially making them bow down in front of the almighty god, Vladimir Putin. And this is what, like, you know, Putin fans are selling to us as Russia standing up from its knees and becoming, like, actually a great country. I don't know, guys. I don't know. It is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion, and I think, you know, by looking at a lot of the stuff that is coming out of Russia and that is happening in Russia, we can kind of a lot of the time predict what's going to be the next development kind of, right? And how much more insane it's going to get. And, you know, looking at stuff like this, we can, I guess, say that, you know, this is definitely, I mean, Russia already had a certain code of personality of Vladimir Putin already before this, up to a certain point, right? I mean, being in power for 25 years and running your own propaganda and feeding it to the population for the entirety of those 25 years in a row, I mean, I guess at this point there is no way to avoid a cult of personality forming around that leader because he's been in power for so long that he's the only thing that people know, right? But once again, still, I'd say to a certain degree, right, to a big degree, the code of personality in Russia for a very long time was more of an idea than something that you can see, like really good examples of, you know what I'm saying? But now, we're getting literally to North Korean levels of, like, praise and, you know, admiration and love for the, you know, glorious leader, for, you know, the vorsht. And what is happening right now is that, you know, they're using the youth as well to do it mostly. Taking young students, young school pupils, whatever, giving them money to take part in, you know, with just all these sorts of demonstrations and whatnot. And when they, you know, cannot incentivize somebody with money, what they do is that they, you know, they just force children who don't know any better to get down on their knees in praise of the president. What is this? Once again, you are fucking sick. And I cannot believe that, you know, unfortunately, it seems like this sickness has taken over the entirety of my country. And all I can do, guys, is just document it for you and at least try to laugh in the process. Because all of this stuff is terrible to look at. And I cannot believe what I'm seeing, but my pain is your entertainment. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I guess that is going to be pretty much it.
Okay, užtruko ilgiau čia